from MSN, so you know it's crazy. Rise of the robots speeds up in pandemic. Of course, with the U.S. labor force scare. So there's this U.S. labor scarcity that's going on now, and people are saying, oh my gosh, automation in the workplace is starting to rise again as the labor supply continues to shrink. Now listen to this. A lot of it is tone deaf. From Bloomberg, American workers are hoping that the tight pandemic labor market will translate into better pay. It might just mean robots take their jobs instead. Of course it will. Of course it will. And not only that, but for the people who are not, the over 100 million people who are out of the workforce now and have been encouraged to do so because welfare benefits are so much better and or severe hypochondria that's been beaten into them in the last year and a half, what you have going on here now is that those who are still willing to work, those who are not being forced out of the workplace in the coming months because of vaccine mandates, that's the other slap in the face. The only people who kept working and want to continue to work, half of those people, or many of those people at least, sizable portion, are now being forced out of work with a bunch of losers who don't want to work anymore. Well, now everybody thinks, well, maybe you should raise the wages. Raise the wages. You're going to raise the wages, and then what's going to happen? The taxes are going up anyway, too, because you need to subsidize all the people who you're talking about, tens of millions of people who are on the dole. Tens and tens of millions. So it's going to come out of your increased wages. Then they're going to say we need higher wages, and this also has to be shouldered by businesses that are already under the gun. Labor shortages and rising wages are pushing U.S. businesses to invest in automation, which is logical. A recent Federal Reserve survey of chief financial officers found that at firms with difficulty hiring, 1/3 are implementing or exploring automation to replace workers. In earnings calls over the past month, executives from a range of businesses confirmed the trend. Domino's Pizza is putting in place equipment and technology that reduces the amount of labor that is required to produce our dough balls, says Chief Executive Officer Rich Allison. Mark Coffey, a group vice president at Hormel Food Corp, says that the maker of Spam and Skippy Peanut Butter is ramping up our investments in automation because of the tight labor supply. The mechanizing of mundane tasks has also been underway for generations. It's made remarkable progress in the past decade. The number of industrial robots installed in the world's factories more than doubled in that time to about 3 million. Automation has been spreading into service businesses as well. So they're going to continue to, and then of course they say that they have to make sure that this doesn't continue to contribute toward inequality. You know, they don't want it to contribute toward inequality at all. So this is the crazy leftist echo chamber feedback loop that you're constantly in, always attacking capitalism and the free markets. And what happens? The middle class dies, either by force now with mandates or just because the human species is a very impressionable thing. You give them a taste of the lazy life and they take it. You give them a taste of fear and it takes root. All that thing goes on, all that stuff goes on here. And the only ones who actually really make money in the end with leftists pushing this nonsense, leftists in both parties that pretend like they're from different sides of the ideological sphere, the only ones who make money are those with government contracts. And those huge corporations that everybody hates. Everybody hates the huge corporations, but they keep standing behind policies and ideas that only leave them standing after everybody else is destroyed. So that's where we're at right now.